Greetings, kindred spirits. I just want to say a big thank you for all your messages and your support. And I just want you to know I've read all your messages and I have replied to several. I did lose track of who I'd replied to and who I hadn't, so forgive me if I haven't got back to you. But, I was really touched and I just wanted to say a big thank you. I also wanted to give a big shout out to Ophiuchus Astrology by Katy, My Truth, Your Truth, who has a tarot card channel. Katy, she's actually a psychic artist. Her work is pretty fascinating and it all revolves around 13 Star Sign Astrology, where she gives a lot of information. And I also wanted to give a big shout out to Pillars of the Moon, who also does energy updates for 13 Star Sign Astrology. Now I will put all their links in the description box below, so please do check them out. So we have a new moon coming up, and the new moon will begin on the 11th of February 2021 at 19:05 in the GMT time zone, at 14:05 in the EDT time zone, and on the 12th of February at 6:05 in the AEGT time zone. So our new moon will take place in the sign of Capricorn in the true lifetime sky. And, wow, this is quite a dominating energy this month because we have a little stellium of planets in Capricorn. And, this little stellium can be quite overwhelming, especially when it comes to our thought patterns and, past mistakes or, how we see our financial situation or even our spiritual religious values, how we're viewing them at the moment. And, the Capricorn energy can be very kind of like depleting in the respect that, when it's an overwhelming scenario going on, because the stellium really does create this overwhelm of like competitiveness or challenges, so because it's our sun, moon, the goddess Pallas, Mercury retrograde, Venus and Jupiter all involved in this stellium, and with Pallas and Mercury retrograde right in the centre of it all, I really do feel that, there's an overwhelm of thought, all of us sort of going into this deep reflection of our past, of like past mistakes, or trying to work out a plan how to get out of certain ruts, because the Capricorn energy can be very kind of like stagnant and restrictive. But like I said, stelliums are also very competitive, and, Saturn, the ruler of Capricorn, does represent, like larger organisations and even politics, etc. And when the moon is in Capricorn, it's like, life isn't really viewed by spiritual values, it's more viewed by material values. And, this is where we're at on a global level and a personal level. It's like maybe trying to get our head around the future and the finances or our financial situations or the global economy. All that would be included in this stellium that's going on at the moment. With these competitive planets all in a stellium, it's very important for us to find something that we love doing, try and create joy, a little bit of joy in life, and maybe not take life so seriously. No, I would really recommend that we don't just view things from a material point of view, that we do tap into our spiritual energy. And we can do that by tapping into our creative energy. You know, whatever hobby or craft that you're doing, you know, try and put your time into that and take your mind off the more serious stuff in life. Because, you know, I think the energy is just very overwhelming at the moment. And I do feel like, you know, many of us may be getting a lot of headaches at this time. So I would say try and meditate and empty your mind. There's so many meditations out there. I've been posting meditations for over a year. I would definitely check out Steve Noble, or, you know, just lay down and just blank your mind. Because with Mercury in retrograde conjunct the goddess Pallas right in the middle of this stellium, I just feel that, you know, there's a lot of pressure on the eyes, on the mind. So I feel like migraines or just stress headaches can occur under these energies. You know, our sun and our moon will also be in square to Mars. So I think because, you know, the energy is so serious this new moon, we may get very irritable with people if we feel they're not taking life seriously, or if they're not taking us seriously, you know, or if they're not taking anything seriously, you know. And I think we're seeing this play out on a global level as well when it comes to all the new legislations that are coming in. They're pretty harsh. And, you know, some people will say they're necessary, others will say that they're not. So, you know, there's also that going on, that competitive energy as well of, you know, who's right, who's wrong. And, you know, that's why I would recommend that we all just do our bit, but really take a back step and just concentrate on your own well-being. And, you know, we have Neptune in opposition to the goddess Vesta. That's part of a grand cross that's been ongoing and will be ongoing for a couple of months yet. And that also includes the nodes. So, you know, as a society, as a global community, you know, we are being asked to step into our power by overcoming illusions or egoistical tendencies, you know, or addictions and stuff like that, because we have the goddess Vesta in Leo, and Leo can be a very proud sign. It can be a sign where, you know, the ego can kick in very easily. You know, it's like a self-protection. Leo also is a sign that doesn't like change, really. They like things to stay the same. And with Neptune at 22 degrees in Aquarius, it's all about, you know, looking beyond the material, looking beyond the physical of what's going on in the world, to tap into a higher energy, into a higher consciousness, and letting go of all that holds us back from moving forward, from making the changes that we really need to make. And I feel this is more on a personal level as well as a global level. It's all about overcoming, you know, what we feel we deserve. You know, it's definitely the material versus the spiritual, this new moon. And like I said, the Capricorn energy, it's not so much a spiritual energy, it's very much a material energy. So, you know, there could be a lot going on there globally, which there obviously is. You know, but we've all got to find peace within ourselves, do you know what I mean? Because, you know, the Capricorn energy is going to be very, very dominating and very, very strong this new moon. And, you know, this is further emphasised by the fact that this new moon, we also move out of the year of the metal rat, and we are moving into the metal ox. So the metal ox is also associated with the sign of Capricorn. And, so the Capricorn energy is very, very, very strong, but it can be a very depressing energy. It can be a little bit mind-blowing for us. So we really do need to get into our spiritual energy by being creative. But the good thing is, we are being pushed outside of our comfort zones in certain respects. But my advice would be, under this Capricornian influence, is that we take our time with things. Because the more we try to rush anything is the more, either mistakes that will be made, or, it can all kind of just fall apart. So the faster we try and do things is the more that we're really putting pressure on ourselves, And the Capricorn energy is also known for doing things the hard way rather than the easy way. So, yeah, I think we can see that playing out globally as well. So moving on from the new moon, we also have Valentine's Day on the 14th, and it's the first time in many years I've actually seen Mars in square to Venus on Valentine's Day. So I just feel there's a lot of pressure on relationships right now, either to make it or break it. Because Venus is in Capricorn, I would say that the feminine energy is definitely playing her cards very close to her chest. It's almost like the feminine energy has taken on like a masculine facade, where she's holding her own, and she's very much in her head about, who she should trust, who she shouldn't trust. So, the masculine energy, which is Mars, is in his own sign of Aries. So really, he has all the power, and the masculine energy really is the one that will be putting in all the work to either make this or break this. I really do feel the masculine energy will try to make it, but it's really down to the feminine to know whether she trusts this process or not, whether she trusts this masculine or not. So I really do feel this is about make or break, and I actually did see this on my last New Moon podcast, that relationships are coming to a head now, whether it's make or break. I mean, it's been going on for a few years, but I just feel that, the feminine energy is actually really has moved on quite a bit. She really has risen to a completely different level now. And I think the masculine is beginning to recognise that. So, he's learnt a lot. He's actually at 21 degrees, and if we break 21 down to, in numerology, it results to the number 3, which is, the sign of the Trinity. So he's really in his power. And, if he really wants to pursue a relationship with the feminine, then, he's going to have to be his own master. And I think it's going to take a lot of convincing as well. So, for those that are already in relationships, I would say there's a lot of tension on the relationship. But in all honesty, I would say that a square between the masculine and feminine is a lot more productive than a trine between the masculine and feminine, because trines can tend to make us lazy or too comfortable. We can actually delude ourselves with a trine, just believe that everything's safe. Whereas with a square, it's actually definitely a make or break. It's definitely creates a tension where we need to make big decisions, So, yeah, I just feel that this Valentine's Day for relationships will be very productive, whether it goes one way or the other. And then we also have the sun moving into the sign of Aquarius on the 16th of February. So as the sun enters into Aquarius, I just see that all the moodiness and the irritability that we were seeing at the Capricorn new moon will probably more erupt as the sun moves into the sign of Aquarius. And, this is where I feel like people will finally kind of like express their grievances or express their unhappiness. And I just feel that with everything going on around the new moon period, that it will start erupting as the sun moves into Aquarius, because I just feel around the new moon, I think everyone's just in that place of don't know what to make of it. That's what I feel like. A lot of us just don't know what to make of the current events that are going on, either within our personal lives or globally. So I just feel things may not make sense to some under the Aquarius energy, but I think for many, they will start to see the bigger picture or start to get their own ideas of what it all means or what they need to do. This is definitely the expression of the personality, although in Aquarius it's not necessarily in a productive way. It can be very eccentric, or, with the black moon conjunct Mars in Aries, I just feel it can tend to be kind of a bit explosive. Aquarian energy is very electrical, it's very erratic. So, there can be like a few explosive arguments going on, and maybe big debates will start about this time. But Mercury retro will end on the 21st of February, and that will be in the sign of Capricorn. But like I say, there's a post shadow, and the post shadow won't actually end until the 12th of March. So I would say up until the 12th of March, still be very cautious, and we will be still feeling the Mercury retrograde's energy up until the 12th of March. I think this particular Mercury retrograde has been pretty deep, especially in Capricorn, with all the other planets doing their stuff in Capricorn too. So I feel it's been very deep, and it's been very hard for a lot of people, I think, over the last month or so, to be honest. And I do feel we're breaking out of that energy now with Mercury going direct. And, the other planets as well, forming different conjunctions and other aspects. So, we'll have Jupiter in trine to the moon, we'll have Saturn in trine to the moon, we'll also have Saturn in trine to the North Node, and the moon conjunct the North Node, but the Black Moon Lilith will be conjunct Uranus. So I really do feel that, maybe we'll start seeing uprising in groups again, and there'll be a lot more information coming out. But I think the most important thing to work on in this post-shadow period of Mercury is working on our self-empowerment, working on our self-confidence, because I think a lot of us have been really knocked throughout, all these planets, the planetary energies coming in over the last 4 weeks. And I just feel it's time to shake off the stagnant energy. And here in the Northern Hemisphere, we're heading into spring soon. So I always love it when the Chinese New Year hits, because it means that we're moving forward to springtime. And it has been a very long and dark winter for many of us here in the Northern Hemisphere. And, the southern hemisphere are about to go into their winter now, and we all know that they had a pretty dark winter last year. So we just, I'm just saying lots of prayers for the southern hemisphere, and I hope this winter will be a lot better for you. And for the northern hemisphere, hopefully there will be some light at the end of the tunnel. But always, as always, I recommend that, we keep crafting, we keep creating, and we keep our spiritual values. And, so I'm just sending you all peace and much love.